Do a real quick video today on what I think is the best way to glue purposely separated 3D printed PLA parts, such as something kind of like, you know, as you would with these parts, or something like this where you've had a breakage. Like that! Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is when you've taken a 3D model, you've segmented it into various pieces so that you can fit it on your 3D printing bed. I personally have a Creality Ender 3 and I think it is an amazing little printer, especially for the low price. If you want to look at getting one yourself, I'm going to do a review on one later on. The link's in the bottom of the description. This is an example of a project I've been working on for a while. These two parts are too big to print on the print bed, and so what I've done is I've done a very simple little cutout of them in Fusion 360. I've then 3D printed it out with a 0.2mm tolerance, and then this is what you have left. But now you've got to glue them. A lot of people will use epoxies, others will try plastic welding, which you can do, but it is quite difficult. The way that I'm going to show you is using an inexpensive 3D printing pen. This may seem very silly, but this is easily one of the easiest and most user-friendly ways that I've personally found for for gluing PLA. The second thing we're going to talk about today is fixing a broken print. This is a little Spyro 3D print that I've done, and he has been, that's horrible lighting, Kyle. One moment. Makes a bloody camera ring, camera light, doesn't bloody use it. Here we go. See it? Oh, autofocus. There we go. So this little Spyro I 3D printed, again with my Ender 3 3D printer. I was playing around with a lot of tolerance tests, but this is what I came up with, and I've just snapped the horn off him. Now obviously you can't really get in there and glue him very easily. The parts, you know, I've got quite a tight little seam when you can fit it in there again, and you don't want it to be really obvious you've done it. To repair something like this, you could just use normal epoxies and glues on that. I like to use Chloroform. Now you're probably thinking, hang on, isn't that stuff that people use for kidnapping in the movies? Yes, some places chloroform is illegal. New Zealand, it is not. Various other places, it is not. It is typically used as a solvent product, and it's also used for, I think it's used for acquiring insulin, but either way, it's a different story. You can acquire chloroform from most chemical dealers or chemists. However, you will usually need some form of legitimate reason for buying it. I personally know the chemist that I acquired this through, and they know personally that I do a lot of 3D printing, that I do a lot of custom parts, and that it is in fact, yes, a solvent, which is why these will come in a glass container, stupidly with a plastic lid. If you put it into a plastic bottle, it will melt. Now for all of you out there who are going to comment in the bottom of my videos saying, oh good job, tell people where to buy chloroform. Fuck off. You know, if people are going to be assholes, they're going to be assholes regardless of whether they watch a 3D printing repair video. Don't blame that shit on me. Now what you're going to do first is you're going to take your 3D print and you want to work out exactly what orientation your broken part goes on. Some things this will be more obvious than others, but better safe than sorry. All that I'm going to do, take the chloroform bottle, just dip it in there like so, and then I'm just going to touch it to the part. Very nice and easy. You don't need a huge amount of this. I'm going to do the same to the opposite part. Just like so. And then very carefully cover the lid so I don't breathe that in. Just going to line it up and try to get it on as perfectly as we can the first time. Which is easier said than done for someone who's as uncoordinated as me. Yeah. So now that we've got that on there, we're just going to leave that. We've got a good fit. Can't see any seams. We're just going to leave that to evaporate now, and then our horn is going to be good as new. Right, so next we're going to take a 3D printing pen, plug it in. Now these usually only take about a minute to heat up. You select PLA or ABS, push forward, and it should start heating up. This had started preheating, but I have a buggy multi-plug that it was plugged into, so I'm redoing it. So I'm going to put this up to about 200 degrees because I know that that's what my PLA usually works best with. And then this is your forward, reverse, and your speed at which it will push the filament. I'm going to retract this one because it's almost at the end, and it's always good habit just to change that to a new continuous piece. And we're going to set up our pieces for gluing. Now these have got a little bit of wiggle in them, don't know if you can see that. You should, because it's huge. I'm going to take a piece of what I know is square material, line that up again. Okay. The next step you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking down this plastic using sandpaper or a file, just like this. As you can tell there's a little bit of a gap between some of the pieces that were welded together. However, I can guarantee you this is going to be plenty strong enough. This is the previous piece that I'd done. After a little bit of filling work, you can see that there's no obvious gaps there. Clearly see that they were previously joined, and this is incredibly strong where that has been welded. Alright, that's it for today guys. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. If there's something you want to see me make in the future, or if you want to see any other tutorials on how I can make other things for you, let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit like, and there's going to be a couple of other videos coming up shortly, including an electric aluminium melting furnace which I've thrown together as a prototype, a sliding camera rig that also pans as it moves along, and a couple of other things. Catch you soon.